Donald Trump is out with his first television ad attacking Kamala Harris, spending more than $12 million across 6 battleground states.
This is America's border czar, and she's failed us. Under Harris, over 10 million illegally here. 250,000 Americans dead from fentanyl. Brutal migrant crimes. And ISIS now here.
In the border state of Arizona alone, the Trump team is spending $1.9 million to circulate that ad. But one Republican mayor says he's all in for Harris. Joining me now is that mayor, John Giles, the Republican mayor of Mesa, Arizona. Beautiful city. It's good to have you here. You're a couple hours from the border, but we know that issue is critical to Arizona voters regardless. Do you think that these border attack ads will be effective against Harris in your state?
Well, the border absolutely is an issue in border states, including Arizona. And so this is an issue that obviously the Trump campaign is going to try to capitalize on, and that the Harris campaign is going to need to do some explaining about. I'm not at all surprised that this issue is front and center. And so I hope that the vice president attacks it aggressively and does a good job of explaining what a complicated issue this is, how executive action like what President Biden and she have taken over the last few weeks or months are good, but they are no substitute for congressional repairs to a broken immigration system.
Beyond the border, how can she win Arizona?
Well, I think she's headed in the right direction. It's been seeing the excitement, that has come from her announcement. The obvious very good contrast between her and Donald Trump. Donald Trump does not compare favorably. So I think if she's just herself, comes out and lets people get to know her, people, I think, were questioning what they were going to do when the choice was Biden versus Trump. But I think this is an entirely new race. And so I think if she comes out to Arizona, talks about the border, talks about the differences that she has between her and President Trump, that Arizona is very much in play.
You wrote in that op-ed that Trump did not support Arizona cities, and you wrote, quote, "In the spirit of the late Senator John McCain's motto, country first, I call on other Arizona Republicans to join me in choosing country over party this election and to vote against Donald Trump." I wonder what the reaction to that has been. I'm sure you talk to other mayors all the time. And you also mention Senator Mark Kelly, a potential VP pick. What impact do you think that would have?
Well, I think Mark Kelly is held in very high regard in Arizona. As you've mentioned, he's won 2 statewide elections here in the last 4 years. He's genuinely a rock star. He's one, very much an astronaut, very talented. His marriage to Gabby Gifford is an amazing example for all of us. So he's a great story. And if he is part of the ticket, I think that it's likely that they win Arizona as a result.
You folks have a primary today, but I want to ask you about a race that I think is pretty set, and that is the other Senate race, which is between Kari Lake and Ruben Gallego. Do you think Harris's candidacy can play into that Senate race?
I think Ruben Gallego is going to win that regardless. Even had Biden remained at the top of the ticket, Kari Lake has just the more she talks, the worse her campaigns end up doing. That's how she lost the governor's race here a couple of years ago. So Ruben Gallego is in a good position. Now, Kari Lake, a Democratic challenger today in the primary, and I think I'm sorry, another Republican challenger in the primary today, and that person is getting more and more support because I think even on the Republican side, they're seeing that she is just too extreme.
You think she could lose?
I think she's going to win, but it's going to be very close. It's going to be closer than you would have thought.
Mayor John Giles, it is great to have you on the program. Thank you so much for coming.